Hi guys, Silverwolf here, and I'm going to be showing you some new plushies today that I've been working on the last couple of weeks. First of all, the shout outs, and they go to Doggies Galore, Tuluka, Kado, Hi Hi, and Isabella Bruce and E.T. Furby. So, these are the prototypes for the plushies that I've been making. They're called Kazzy Cats, and I'm hoping to do a new sort of line of them to sell from my Etsy shop, because I'm now working at home full time as an artist. I wanted to make the Kazzy Cats kind of more affordable than my other plushies, because my other plushies, the Animal Crossing ones and stuff, they're a little bit more expensive. So I wanted to try to make these more simple, so they take less time to make, require less materials, so of course they cost less. Now the one on the left here is a prototype for the large version that I made, and he came out a little bit too big. They require a lot of stuffing. Now he's not stuffed properly because I ran out of stuffing while I was putting it in him. I actually used a little bit of sort of offcuts of white fleece and stuffed him with that as well, but I ran out of stuffing, so they take way too much, which means they're not economical to make, which means that I can't really escape with charging too much less for them, and I want to make something that's affordable that anyone can buy. Well, you know, anyone with a bit of money. And the first prototype I made, although it's cute and I love it, and I've made a couple and they're in my shop, they're not as expensive as my normal plushies, but they still weren't really what I was looking for, and everyone said you should make it smaller. My mum, my boyfriend, I don't know what Dad thought, but yeah, they all thought maybe he should be a bit smaller. So anyway, this is the first prototype Kazzy Cat. They're basically fantasy cats, and they're sitting down, so you can't see their back feet. It's just kind of, you know how cats like to sit with their little feet tucked in. So that's the large prototype. I made him out of, he's not really very well stuffed, as you can see he's quite wobbly, but I made him out of like this really cheap fur that I'm not going to use for anything else. And if you make a prototype, which you should do when you're making plushies, you should test the pattern first, otherwise it'll just go wrong and it'll take you longer to do in the long run. Just use old material or material you're not going to use for anything else for making a prototype with. I mean, I didn't even need to make him furred. I could have made him out of fleece, but since I'm going to be making them with this fur, I felt that the fleece wouldn't really have worked very well or given me an accurate visual of what it's going to look like, you know, when I make a proper one. So this was the next prototype I did. As you can see, he's a lot smaller, which means he takes way less time to make, he takes less stuffing, and I can sell him for less. So this small one is about 20 or 25 pounds cheaper than the big one. So more people are likely to buy him because he's cute, but he's not overly expensive, because in this day and age, with everyone suffering with COVID and the issues in the world and a lot of people out of work, no one's going to want to buy something that's super expensive. So that's why I've made the smaller one. And the prototype pattern has worked. However, there is a couple of things on it that, now I've transferred the pattern from paper to cardboard, that I have changed. The bottoms of his paws, these bits were too small, so I made them a bit bigger. Also the bottom part here, slightly too small, so I've made that a bit bigger as well. The tail, a little bit too skinny, so I've made it a bit thicker. And that's about it really, the rest of it works. The ears I've made slightly wider, because these ones, you know, they are a little bit more sort of cupped than that. These ones are a bit narrow. Because when you draw a pattern, you've got to put, you've got to leave like a border around it, so you need to draw the pattern bigger than you need it, because when you come to sew it, obviously these stitches take up some of the pattern, so your plush does come out a little bit smaller. And for measurements and stuff, it's easy to make the pieces too small, and then when you sew them into the plush, they're even smaller. So sometimes it doesn't work, but that's the only things I needed to improve on. So you've seen these two, so now you get to see finished large plushies, and these ones are for sale in my shop at the moment. So we've got this guy, his name is Shuck, and he's got a punky hairdo, so you can see there. He's a bit big to get in the picture. The fur on his tail is red, but the base of it is black, which is pretty neat. I don't have much of that fur left though, so I can only do his tail. I wanted to do his chest out of the same colour, but I didn't have enough of it. So I chose to do his chest out of this really cool Skull and Crossbones fleece. And he's also got little purple paw pads there as well. His collar, he's got spikes and little studs on his collar there. And he's also got, because I forgot to sew it into him when I made him, so I put my Made with Love, Handmade with Love thing on the back here. So everyone knows it's me who did it, but I'm going to actually sew those into my future plushies. It's just, I've just started off with the labels, and I keep forgetting to sew them into the plushies. So his eyes are hand painted, and his nose is a little bit of felt that I've stitched on. And I've trimmed down his face so I can give him a little smile as well. And the other one I've got for sale in my shop, and this one's pretty cool, but the fan favourite seems to be the one I've just shown you, but this is the other one. He's got even more of a little spiky thing going down his back, and that's his face there. But you can see these ones are big. They look bigger than the prototype because they're fully stuffed, and so I can't sell them cheaply because they cost a lot to make. And he's got a collar there with little spikies on it, and again my label on the back. He's got little brown paw pads as well. So these two are in my Etsy shop. The shipping is fully tracked and signed anywhere in the world, and they're £100 each. And that might seem like a lot, but if you look at the amount of material I've used, the amount of stuffing, and the bigger they are, the longer they take to sew together, and I hand sew everything. So bearing in mind my other plushies are about £175, these ones are actually quite cheap. But I will be making them smaller because these two are just a little bit big, and I don't think the larger ones will sell quite as fast. However, I am proud of them. I'm proud of the pattern and everything. I think they came out really cute, and I think they're appealing to people. They're going to come in all different colours, so you get natural ones, but you also get brightly coloured ones. And I see as a general rule, people tend to like things that are bright colours or more unusual, because anyone can make a cat plush if they make plushies, you know, just a normal coloured cat. But making them out of different colours and designs is kind of more creative and more different and unusual. So it catches people's eye, basically. So that's how my plushies went from prototype to the final thing. But as I said, I'm not going to be doing many big ones. If these two sell, I'll make another couple to go in the shop. So there's always going to be a couple of large ones in the shop in case anyone wants a bigger one. But I'm never going to have more than about 2 at a time. Because another thing is they take up a lot of space in my lounge as well. And, you know, I am actually getting my own workroom, but I do need space to do other stuff. Because I've only got a bedroom and a lounge in my little flat, so I need the space. Anyway, if you want to check out more plushie videos, there's some coming up below. And if you want to check out my Silver Urban merchandise, that's all in my Redbubble and Teespring stores. They are in the description, along with a link to my Ko-fi if you want to buy me a coffee. It all helps, because as I said, I'm fully working from home now, so any small tip or donation really helps me. So that's all for this video, and stay safe, stay healthy, and keep being awesome. And this is Silverwolf signing off.